Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the real-world impact of generative AI on the tech workforce, and we're using a fascinating new academic study as our guide.
This is the question on literally everyone's mind, isn't it? Are these powerful new AI tools a helping hand, or are they a replacement?
Well, according to this new research, for one group, the answer came fast. And I mean fast. For junior software developers, this wasn't some slow, gradual change. It was a seismic event that put them right at the epicenter of this whole disruption. Okay, so how did we get here? To really get it, we need to rewind a bit and pinpoint the exact moment everything changed for software developers.
So AI tech had been bubbling under the surface for years, right? But November 2022, that was the big bang. The public release of ChatGPT wasn't just another app launch. It was an absolute explosion. I mean, reaching 100 million users in just 2 months, that's faster than any app in history. Just wild.
Okay, so how does this magic box actually work? Well, at its heart, it's basically a super-powered pattern matching machine, and the research paper we're diving into uses this brilliant analogy to explain it. It's not thinking, not really. It's all about probability. It's seen billions of lines of text and code, so it gets incredibly good at predicting what comes next. And, as it turns out, that makes it exceptionally good at the routine stuff, like writing all that boilerplate code that's a huge part of a junior developer's day-to-day. And that right there, that's the heart of our mystery today. If an AI can suddenly crank out all this routine code, what on earth happened to the job market for the people just starting out their careers? So a team of researchers at Northeastern University decided to play detective. They got their hands on a massive data set. We're talking nearly every online job posting in the US, to see if they could actually measure the fallout. And the very first clue they found, it was just a single pretty shocking number. Yeah, minus 16.3% in just the 1 year after ChatGPT hit the scene. The share of job postings for junior developers, we're talking folks with less than 4 years of experience, it just plummeted relative to senior jobs. And this wasn't some tiny blip on the radar. This was a massive, market-shaking shock. And this chart really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Before AI, you'd see about 2.25 senior roles for every 1 junior role. But after AI, that ratio jumped to 3 to 1. All of a sudden, the demand for experience just went into overdrive, leaving a lot less room for people trying to get their foot in the door. Okay, a 16% drop is a huge deal. But why? What was actually going on under the hood? To get that, we need to pull out a classic idea from economics that just nails what's happening here. It's called skill-biased technological change. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Imagine a new technology comes along that's like a superpower for your most skilled workers. It makes them even more productive. So what happens? Well, companies start wanting more of those superpowered senior workers and fewer of the less experienced ones. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. There were 2 things happening at once. For those entry-level tasks, AI was a substitute. A machine could now do what a person used to. But for the senior devs, for them, AI was an augmenting tool. It was like giving a master craftsperson a brand new, powerful assistant that let them focus on the really complex, high-level stuff. And get this wasn't happening uniformly across the country. The data shows the shockwaves hit hardest in the biggest companies and the major tech hubs. The exact places that are always the first to jump on the newest, shiniest tech. All right, so we know employers started demanding more experience. That makes sense. But when the researchers really started digging into the skills listed in these new job ads, they found something they totally didn't expect. So if AI is writing the code now, what skills would you think became more valuable for a junior developer? Your first guess is probably something like learn more AI tools, right? Or maybe get really good at prompt engineering. But you'd be wrong. The data pointed in the complete opposite direction. Instead of asking for more tech skills, employers started prioritizing these fundamental, deeply human abilities. Problem-solving, communication, mathematics. It's like with the AI handling the what, the routine coding, the value of a junior developer shifted to the why. Can you think through a problem? Can you work with a team? Can you apply logic? Okay, and this right here might be the most counterintuitive finding in this entire study. You ready for this? The demand for junior roles that actually required AI and machine learning skills, it dropped by 86%. Why? Well, it seems companies decided that for these super important high-stakes AI projects,
They didn't want rookies. They wanted the seasoned experts, which had the weird effect of slamming the door shut on the entry-level path into AI.
Okay, so let's shift gears into our final section. Given this new reality, where do we go from here? What's the path forward for all the new grads and aspiring devs who are facing this new, much tougher market? So if the main entrance to a software career is now a bit narrower, are there other ways in? The researchers use this really cool network analysis to actually map out different career paths that use a really similar skill set. It's basically a roadmap for anyone trying to navigate this new terrain. And this table shows us some of those paths. You can see occupations like data scientist or management analyst have a huge skill overlap with software development. Now, their junior jobs took a hit too, but nowhere near as bad. This suggests that with just a little bit of reskilling, these could be really great alternative landing spots.
So the big question is, how do we make sure we don't end up with a lost generation of computer science grads? The paper really hammers home that we need to focus on practical, on-the-job training. Things like apprenticeships, co-ops, internships. These are the things that can bridge that new experience gap that AI created and keep that talent pipeline flowing.
When you step back and look at the big picture, this whole story isn't really about jobs disappearing. It's about a super fast, really profound shift in what we, as an economy, find valuable.
And that leaves us with this final big question to chew on. In a world where AI is getting better and better at handling the what of our jobs, the tasks, the execution, how do we get better at mastering the why? Because in an age of artificial intelligence, our most valuable asset might just be our own very human intelligence.